The morning of June 27, 2017 began like any other Tuesday. Businesses were opening, people were starting their workdays. Yet, beneath this surface of normalcy, a digital tempest was brewing. This was not a localized glitch or a minor system error. This was something far more sinister, a coordinated cyber attack that would catch global corporations and critical infrastructure completely off guard. The initial reports were confusing, trickling in from various parts of the world, speaking of locked screens and crippled systems. The first signs of trouble emerged in Ukraine. Banks, government offices and energy companies suddenly found their operations grinding to a halt. Computer screens displayed ominous messages demanding ransom. The malware, later dubbed NotPetya, began to spread with alarming efficiency. It moved laterally through networks, infecting machine after machine. It did not discriminate. It hit transportation giants, pharmaceutical companies, law firms, and advertising conglomerates. The scale of the disruption was unlike anything seen before. The attack quickly transcended geographical borders. What started in Ukraine soon became a global crisis. Multinational corporations with offices worldwide saw their systems fall like dominoes. Within hours, the impact was being felt from Europe to the United States, from Australia to India. Employees arrived at work to find their computers unusable, their data inaccessible. Production lines stopped, shipments were halted, communication systems failed. The economic consequences began to mount almost immediately. This was not just an attack on data, it was an attack on the very fabric of modern commerce and infrastructure. Initially, NotPetya presented itself as a typical ransomware attack. Infected computers displayed a message demanding a Bitcoin payment to unlock files. This facade was convincing enough to mislead many in the early hours. However, security researchers soon began to uncover disturbing details. The payment mechanism was poorly implemented, almost an afterthought. The email address provided for victims to send their transaction details and receive decryption keys was quickly shut down by the email provider. Furthermore, the encryption process itself was flawed in a way that made data recovery virtually impossible. It became apparent this was not about financial gain. The true purpose of NotPetya was far more destructive. It was designed to wipe data and cause maximum disruption. The ransomware component was merely a clever decoy, intended to misdirect investigators and sow confusion. This made NotPetya particularly insidious. The attack was not a crime of extortion, it was an act of cyber warfare masquerading as petty theft. The attack's sophistication, its initial targeting of Ukrainian entities, and its purely destructive nature, pointed towards a more strategic, geopolitical motive. NotPetya was a weapon engineered to cripple systems, damage economies, and send a powerful, disruptive message. The investigation into NotPetya's origins quickly zeroed in on Ukraine. Its initial seeding point was traced back to a popular Ukrainian accounting software called MEDOC. This software was widely used by businesses operating in Ukraine for tax filing and other accounting purposes. The attackers had managed to compromise the update servers for MEDOC. On June 27, 2017, a Trojanized update for MEDOC was pushed out to its users. Unsuspecting businesses downloaded and installed this update, believing it to be legitimate. However, hidden within the update package was the NotPetya malware. Once installed, NotPetya would activate and begin its destructive rampage. This supply chain attack was highly effective. It leveraged the trust users placed in their software vendors. By compromising a single, widely used piece of software, the attackers gained an initial foothold in thousands of organizations across Ukraine. This was the spark that ignited the global firestorm. The interconnected nature of modern business meant the infection would not remain contained within Ukraine's borders. Multinational corporations with Ukrainian subsidiaries using MEDOC became unintentional conduits for the malware. NotPetya was not a simple piece of malware. It was a sophisticated digital weapon employing multiple techniques to achieve its destructive goals. One of its most potent tools was an exploit known as Eternal Blue. This exploit targeted a vulnerability in Microsoft Windows implementation of the server message block protocol. Eternal Blue was allegedly developed by the US National Security Agency and was later leaked by a group called the Shadow Brokers. Its inclusion in NotPetya allowed the malware to spread rapidly within networks without requiring any user interaction. For systems that were patched against Eternal Blue, NotPetya had alternative spreading mechanisms. It could also use legitimate administrative tools like SecSec and WMIC if it managed to obtain administrative credentials. To obtain these crucial administrative credentials, NotPetya incorporated another powerful tool, Mimikatz. Mimikatz is an open-source utility that can extract plaintext passwords, hashes, and Kerberos tickets from a computer's memory. This combination of exploit and credential theft made NotPetya exceptionally effective at lateral movement. The final stage of the attack involved encrypting the master boot record and specific file types on the infected hard drive. The impact of NotPetya was swift and devastating, extending far beyond its initial targets in Ukraine. Within hours, major multinational corporations reported significant disruptions. A.P. Moller-Maersk, the world's largest container shipping company, was one of the most high-profile victims. The attack crippled its global operations, forcing it to halt port activities in numerous countries. Terminals were unable to process ships, leading to massive backlogs and supply chain chaos. Maersk later estimated its losses at around $300 million. Pharmaceutical giant Merck also suffered heavily. Its production facilities were disrupted, impacting the supply of critical medicines, including vaccines. The company reported financial losses exceeding $800 million due to NotPetya. FedEx's European subsidiary, TNT Express, was another major casualty, experiencing severe operational disruptions and substantial financial costs. Other affected companies included the French construction company, Saint-Gobain, food company Mondelez, and the British advertising firm WPP. These were not small businesses, they were global enterprises with sophisticated IT departments, yet they were still vulnerable. The financial toll of NotPetya was staggering. Estimates of the total global economic damage ranged from $10 billion to much higher figures, making it one of the costliest cyber attacks in history. The attack demonstrated the interconnectedness of the global economy and how dependent it had become on digital systems. The NotPetya attack, despite its destructive nature, provided invaluable lessons for organizations worldwide. One of the most critical takeaways was the paramount importance of timely software patching. The Eternal Blue exploit, a key component of NotPetya's spreading mechanism, targeted a vulnerability for which Microsoft had released a patch months earlier. Organizations that had diligently applied this patch were significantly less susceptible to the malware's rapid internal propagation. Another crucial lesson learned was the significance of network segmentation. NotPetya spread laterally within networks with alarming speed. Organizations with flat, unsegmented networks saw the malware infect vast numbers of systems very quickly. Effective network segmentation can help contain the spread of malware. The incident also underscored the need for robust incident response plans. Many organizations were caught unprepared, lacking clear procedures for dealing with a fast-moving, destructive cyber attack. Finally, NotPetya emphasized the importance of offline backups and a resilient recovery strategy. The ability to restore systems and data quickly from clean backups can significantly reduce downtime and financial losses. NotPetya was more than just another piece of malware. It was a landmark event in the history of cybersecurity. It served as a stark and undeniable warning about the evolving nature of cyber threats and the potential for catastrophic global impact. The attack blurred the lines between cybercrime and cyber warfare, demonstrating how nation-state capabilities could be deployed with devastating consequences. The sheer scale of the financial losses, estimated in the billions of dollars, forced boardrooms and governments alike to take cybersecurity far more seriously than ever before. The attack's legacy lies in its profound impact on cybersecurity awareness and practices. It highlighted critical vulnerabilities not just in software, but in organizational processes and preparedness. The importance of fundamental security measures like patching, network segmentation, strong authentication, and robust incident response plans was driven home with brutal clarity. Many organizations were forced to confront the reality that their existing security measures were inadequate to deal with such aggressive and fast-moving threats. This led to increased investment in security technologies, personnel, and training across numerous sectors globally. Furthermore, NotPetya spurred important discussions about international norms and accountability in cyberspace. The attack was widely attributed by several governments to state-sponsored actors, raising questions about the rules of engagement in this new domain of conflict. The indiscriminate nature of NotPetya, affecting unintended targets worldwide, underscored the difficulty of containing cyber weapons once unleashed. It emphasized the need for international cooperation to establish clearer boundaries for state behavior in cyberspace, and to hold malicious actors accountable for their actions. In conclusion, NotPetya remains a chilling reminder of our collective vulnerability in an increasingly interconnected world. The lessons learned from this devastating attack continue to shape cybersecurity strategies and policies as of May 23, 2025.